The Turkish Angora is a breed of domestic cat. Turkish Angoras are one of the ancient, natural breeds of cat, having originated in central Turkey, in the Ankara region. The breed has been documented as early as the 1600s and is believed to be the origin of the mutations for both the coloration white and long hair. The breed is also sometimes referred to as simply the Angora or Ankara cat. History. Like all domestic cats, Turkish Angoras descended from the African wildcat. The Fertile Crescent was a place where cats were first domesticated. Cats from eastern mountainous regions of early Anatolia and through inbreeding and natural selection, developed into long-haired breeds like the Turkish Van and the Turkish Angora. Long-haired cats were imported to Britain and France from Asia Minor, Persia and Russia as early as the late 16th century, though there are indications that they appeared in Europe as early as the 14th century due to the Crusades. The Turkish Angora was used, almost to the point of extinction, to improve the coat on the Persian. The Turkish Angora was recognized as a distinct breed in Europe by the 17th century. Angoras and Persians seem connected. The Persian cat was developed from Turkish Angora mutations by British and American cat fanciers. Although some cat associations think the Persian cat is a natural breed, in the 19th century Persians and Angoras were identical. In 1903, F. Simpson wrote in her book The Book of the Cat. In classing all long-haired cats as Persians I may be wrong, but the distinctions, apparently with hardly any difference, between Angoras and Persians are of so fine a nature that I must be pardoned if I ignore the class of cat commonly called Angora, which seems gradually to have disappeared from our midst. Certainly, at our large shows there is no special classification given for Angoras, and in response to many inquiries from animal fanciers I have never been able to obtain any definite information as to the difference between a Persian and an Angora cat. The Angora of the 20th century was used for improvement in the Persian coat, but the type has always been vastly divergent from the Persian particularly as the increasingly flat-faced show cat Persian has been developed in the last few decades. In the early 20th century, Ankara Zoo began a breeding program to protect and preserve pure white Angora cats. The zoo particularly prized odd-eyed Angoras, however the cats were chosen only by their color no other criterion was used. Despite the lack of selective breeding and no consideration given for the deafness problem, Ankara Zoo cats have a very similar type. The Turkish Angora, which was brought to Canada in 1963, was accepted as a championship pedigreed breed in 1973 by the Cat Fanciers Association. However, until 1978 only white Angoras were recognized. Today, all North American registries accept the Turkish Angora in many colors and patterns. While numbers are still relatively small, the gene pool and base of fanciers are growing. Breeders in Turkey feel that the Cat Fancier unregistered trademark fine-boned version of their national breed is unrepresentative of the true Turkish cats, which are much sturdier. American OE Turkish Angoras may have only a minimal remnant of the original Ankara Zoo DNA and are only a hybrid on paper. Appearance: Turkish Angora cats have long, silky coats and elegant, sinuous bodies. Though it is known for a shimmery white coat, Turkish Angora cats can display a variety of colors. They come in tabby and tabby white, along with smoke varieties, and are in every color other than those that indicate hybridization, such as pointed, chocolate and lavender. Eyes may be blue, green, amber, yellow, or odd-eyed. Ears are pointed, large and wide-set. The eyes are almond-shaped and the profile forms two straight planes. The plumed tail is often carried upright, perpendicular to the back. Behavior: Turkish Angora cats are playful, intelligent, athletic and involved. They bond with humans, but often select a particular member of the family to be their constant companion. They are in turn, very protective of their person. They seek to be helpful in any way they can with their humans, and their intelligence is at times remarkable, showing basic problem-solving skills. They are easily trained, including deaf Turkish Angoras, both because of their intelligence and their desire to interact with humans. Turkish Angoras are energetic, and often seek out high ground in the home. This perch is then used as a way to observe activity of the home. This could include tops of doors, bookshelves, and other furniture. Some ride on their owner's shoulders. Their personality makes the breed desirable to certain people. They get along well in homes with other animals, children, and high activity. Health. The W gene responsible for the white coat and blue eye is closely related to the hearing ability. In this and other breeds, and presence of a blue eye can indicate the cat is deaf to the side the blue eye is located, with some being totally deaf if bearing two blue eyes. However, a great many blue and odd-eyed white cats have normal hearing, and even deaf cats lead a normal life if kept indoors. Some Turkish Angora kittens suffer from hereditary ataxia, a rare condition thought to be inherited as an autosomal recessive. The kittens affected by ataxia have shaking movements, and do not survive to adulthood. Another genetic illness that is rare but known to the breed is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is a cardiac condition usually found between the ages of 2 to 6, with males being affected more commonly and more severely than females. In the Maine Coon, HCM is thought to be an autosomal dominant gene and researchers are working to identify markers for this disease. However, in the Turkish Angora, the disease has not yet been studied at length primarily due to its rarity of occurrence, and is likely to result from a different mutation of genes, with a different gene location than that of the Maine Coon cat. HCM also affects many other breeds, including Ragdolls, Persians and Bengals. Genetics. A genetic study of pedigree cat breeds and worldwide random bred populations showed the Turkish fan as a distinct population from the Turkish Angora despite their geographical association. The Turkish Angora was grouped with the pedigreed Egyptian Mau and random bred Tunisian cats. Turkish random bred cats were grouped with Israeli random bred cats while the Turkish fan was grouped with Egyptian random bred cats. However, the UC Davis only studied American cat fancy registered Angoras rather than the a true Turkish Angora or Ankara kedisi directly from Turkey, and especially from the Ankara Zoo. A genetic study published in 2012 included a few cats imported from Turkey. The study found that a Eurocube Turkish versus USA originating Turkish Angoras are resolved as separate breed populations. The American Turkish Angoras are categorized as descendants of European random bred cats, and cats imported from Turkey are Eurocubed were assigned to the Eastern Mediterranean a Eurocubed group. In popular culture, the James Bond villain Ernst Stavro Blofeld is a white Angora cat. In the film The Crow the cat that is owned by Eric Draven played by Brandon Lee is a white Angora. Duchess, the mother of 3 kittens and main protagonist of The Aristocrats, is a Turkish Angora, as is her daughter Marie. Musette, the protagonist of the 1962 film Gay Perrier, is a Turkish Angora. In SWAT Cats, the Radical Squadron, the character Angora's name is a pun on the breed's name. Felicity, a character in the novel and film Feliday, was a Turkish Angora. Sonia, Heathcliff's girlfriend from the comic strip by George Gately and both the 1980 and 1984 televised cartoon series, appears to be one. Pretty Kitty, a cat from the Bad Kitty series, is a well-groomed Turkish Angora. Sawyer, the love interest of the 1997 film Cats Don't Dance. Miss Kitty, one of the characters in An American Tail, Fievel Goes West. Midnight BSD is named after programmers Angora. References. External links: The Turkish Angora Cat Association, Ankara, Turkey, The Real Turkish Angora, Turkish Angora Fanciers International, The Cat Fanciers Association, Breed Description, Turkish Angora, Fanciers, Turkish Angora, Catster, Turkish Angora cats, long-haired cats.